What if the secret to reclaiming your life isn't about doing more, saying more, or being more present, but about doing less, saying less, and becoming deliberately unavailable? What if the chaos around you thrives because you're always there, reacting, responding, fixing, pleasing? Imagine this: the moment you step back, the moment you choose silence over noise, restraint over impulse, everything shifts. The world doesn't collapse, it recalibrates, and in that recalibration, you discover something profound: your own power. Today, we're diving into a philosophy inspired by Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who saw the human psyche as a battleground of energy, identity, and hidden truths. This is about what happens when you stop being available and why that single choice can change everything. I'm Z, and welcome to Mind Obscura, where we unravel the big ideas that shape how we live, think, and grow. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and let's explore together how stepping back can move you forward. This is a journey of just a few minutes, so grab a coffee, settle in, and let's get started. Let's begin with a question. How often do you feel drained, like your energy is scattered across a dozen demands you didn't choose? Maybe it's a text you feel obligated to answer right away, a friend who leans on you for every crisis. Carl Jung, one of the most revolutionary thinkers in psychology, saw the human psyche as a reservoir of psychic energy, a finite resource that fuels your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, every time you react to a slight or jump to solve someone else's problem, you're spending that energy. And when you spend it recklessly, you're left empty, wondering why you feel so lost. Jung wrote, "The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. When you're always available, you're not choosing sense, you're letting the world swing your pendulum for you." Think about it. When was the last time you reacted impulsively, maybe to a critical comment, a passive-aggressive jab, or a demand for your time and later regretted it? That reaction wasn't just a moment. It was a piece of your energy given away. And the more you give, the less you have for yourself. Availability makes you predictable, and predictability makes you controllable. People, whether they mean to or not, learn how to push your buttons. They know you. El answer. You'll explain, you'll show up. But what if you didn't? What if you chose to protect your energy instead? Here's where things get interesting. What happens when you stop being everyone's when you choose silence over a knee-jerk response? When you say, "Not today," and mean it? The world doesn't fall apart, it changes. Jung's philosophy offers a clue why. He believed in individuation, the process of becoming your true self by peeling away the masks you wear to please others. And individuation demands something radical: the courage to withdraw. When you make yourself unavailable, you disrupt the unspoken contracts you've made with the world. You're no longer the emotional crutch, the problem solver, the one who always says yes. This disruption sends ripples. People who relied on your predictability or quick replies, your willingness to fix their chaos, suddenly lose their grip. They might get frustrated, accuse you of being distant, or try to pull you back into their orbit. But here's what Jung understood. Their reaction isn't about you. It's about them. It's about what they projected onto you. Jung described projection as the act of seeing in others what we refuse to see in ourselves. When you're always available, you become a canvas for others. Projections their insecurities, their needs, their unhealed wounds. You're the hero, the villain, the savior, whatever role they need you to play. But when you step back, you take away their canvas. They're forced to face themselves, and that is uncomfortable. Your unavailability becomes a mirror, reflecting their own inner chaos. And that's why it's so powerful. Let me ask you this. Who in your life gets uneasy when you don't respond right away? Who pushes harder when you set a boundary? Those reactions reveal more about their dependence on you than about your worth. Becoming unavailable, ISNT, about shutting people out at S, about choosing who and what deserves your energy. It's about saying, my peace is non-negotiable. Now, let's talk about silence. Not the passive silence of avoidance, but the deliberate silence of self-mastery. Jung saw silence as a fertile void, a space where the psyche could process, reflect, and transform. In a world obsessed with noise-endless notifications, arguments, demands, silence is revolutionary. It's a refusal to be pulled into someone else's script. Imagine this scenario. Someone criticizes you, maybe a colleague or a family member, and your instinct is to defend yourself, to explain, to prove them wrong. But what if you didn't? What if you let their words hang in the air, unanswered? That silence does something profound. It forces the other person to sit with their own words, to question their intent. It gives you space to observe, to ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, the answer is no. Jung wrote, "What you resist persists." Every time you react impulsively, you feed the cycle. You give power to the provocation. But silence starves it. It's not about being cold or indifferent, it's about being intentional. Silence lets you see the patterns, the people who provoke you to get a reaction, the situations that drain you because you let them. And in that clarity, you start to reclaim your power. Try this experiment. The next time you feel the urge to respond immediately to a text, an argument, take a breath, wait. Ask yourself, what am I protecting by not reacting? You might find you're protecting your peace, your focus, your sense of self. And that's worth more than any temporary win in a pointless debate. Let's go deeper. Jung's concept of psychic energy ISNT, just about avoiding exhausting it, S, about redirecting that energy to build something greater. Every time you say no to a draining interaction, you're saying yes to yourself. Every moment you choose not to react, you're investing in your own growth. This is where individuation comes alive. Individuation for Jung was about becoming whole, not perfect, but authentic. It's about integrating the parts of yourself you've ignored or suppressed to fit in. And that process requires space, solitude, and yes, unavailability. When you stop pouring your energy into others' demands, you create room to ask the big questions. Who am I when I am not pleasing others? What do I want when no one's watching? What makes me feel alive? This isn't easy. Saying no, setting boundaries, or choosing silence can feel like betrayal to others, and even to yourself. You might worry you're being selfish, that you'll lose connections, that you'll be misunderstood. But Jung reminds us that true growth often feels like loss at first. The people who drift away when you become unavailable, they weren't here for you, they were here for what you provided. The discomfort of being seen as distant, that's just the world adjusting to a version of you that's no longer predictable. Here's a practical step. Start small. The next time someone asks for your time or attention, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Does this person respect my energy? If the answer is no, practice saying, I can't right now, without explaining why. You don't owe anyone your reasons. Over time, these small acts of unavailability build a foundation of self. Let's be honest, becoming unavailable can feel lonely. When you stop being everyone's emotional anchor, some will pull away, others will push harder, trying to drag you back into their chaos. And in those moments, you might question yourself. Am I wrong? Am I too harsh? This is the crucible of transformation, what Jung called the sacred isolation of individuality. This loneliness isn't emptiness, it's a clearing. It's the space where you hear your own voice, maybe for the first time. It is where you stop defining yourself by others' expectations and start defining yourself by your own truth. Jung believed that to become whole, you must walk alone for a while, not to reject the world, but to rediscover yourself within it. In this solitude, you find clarity. You see who stays, who respects your boundaries, who values you for you, not for what you do. You start to attract relationships that don't demand your constant availability. Because you've shown the world you're no longer a tool to be used. You become rare, not because you're distant, but because you're whole. So, what happens when you stop being available? Everything changes. You stop being a reactor and become a creator. You stop being a canvas for others' projections and become the artist of your own life. You stop chasing approval and start cultivating peace. This is the rebirth. Jung spoke of our life, where your energy is yours, your choices are yours, your truth is yours. This doesn't mean you shut out the world. It means you engage with it on your terms. You choose who gets your time, your words, your heart. You become selective, not out of arrogance, but out of reverence for your own soul. And the people who stay, they're the ones who see you, not the role you used to play. Let me leave you with a final thought from Jung. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. When you stop being available, you're not just setting boundaries, you're claiming that privilege. You're saying, I am enough, and my energy is sacred. And in that act, you don't just change your life, you change the world around you. If this resonates with you, I invite you to reflect. Who or what is draining your energy right now? What would happen if you chose silence? Just once. Share your thoughts in the comment side. Love to hear your story. And if you found value in this, give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the bell, so you don't miss our next dive into the ideas that shape us. For more on protecting your energy and embracing your true self, check out my book, your book title, linked in the description. Until next time, choose your energy wisely and choose yourself.